Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. We often hear about strange and dark stories and wonder what makes people do what they do. Today's episode is exactly that. We delve into the story of one of the most brutal serial killers in history who was actually never caught. Marie Delphine McCarthy was born on the 19th of March 1787 and was commonly known as Madame LaLaurie. She was a New Orleans socialite and serial killer and was believed to have tortured and murdered people in her household. Harriet Martineau, in her writings inspired by the tales told to her by the residents of New Orleans in 1836, claimed that the workers of LaLaurie were observed to be singularly haggard and wretched. However, in public appearances, LaLaurie was seen to be generally polite and nice to the people. Funeral registers between 1830 and 1834 document the deaths of 12 workers at the Royal Street Mansion. However, the records did not specify the cause of the deaths. Public rumors about LaLaurie's mistreatment of workers on her property was sufficiently widespread that a local lawyer was dispatched to the Royal Street Mansion to remind LaLaurie about the laws for the upkeep of her workers. In 1833, one of LaLaurie's neighbors saw an 8-year-old girl fall to her death from the roof of the Royal Street Mansion while trying to avoid punishment from a whip-wielding LaLaurie. Her body was buried somewhere within the mansion grounds. Other accounts state that police discovered her body in a well at the Royal Street Mansion. Now, when we look back at the story, this is the point at which law enforcement officers should have visited the mansion and arrested LaLaurie for the heinous crime committed. But nothing was really done. This incident did lead to an investigation of the LaLauries, in which they were found guilty of illegal cruelty. However, their punishment was simply to forfeit the 9 workers within their household. A little bit odd, don't you think? This is similar to simply giving Jeffrey Dahmer a verbal warning and asking him to behave himself after he had already committed several murders. Unfortunately, the 9 workers who were released from LaLaurie's mansion were brought back by the LaLauries through a relative who returned them back to the Royal Street Mansion. On the 10th of April 1834, a fire broke out within the Royal Street Mansion, which originated from the kitchen. When the police and fire marshals got to the scene, they found the cook, a 70-year-old woman, chained to the stove by her ankle. She later admitted that she had set the fire as a suicide attempt because she feared being punished. She said that the workers that were taken to the uppermost room of the mansion never came back. As reported in the New Orleans Bee on the 11th of April 1834, bystanders responding to the fire attempted to enter the quarters of the workers to ensure that everyone had been evacuated. Upon being refused the keys by the LaLauries, the bystanders broke down the doors of the quarters, and what they saw haunted them for the rest of their lives. They found 7 workers, more or less horribly mutilated. They were suspended by the neck, with their limbs apparently stretched and torn from one extremity to the other. One of the workers had her bones broken numerous times and set in unnatural positions so that when she moved, her limbs remained crooked and bent. Another worker was said to have had a hole drilled into his head with a wooden spoon sticking out of it. Several other workers were found in deplorable conditions, wearing iron collars that kept their head in a static position. One of the workers had his skin peeled back, exposing the tissue and the muscle, while another worker had his stomach cut open with his intestines wrapped around his body. When the discovery of the abused workers became widely known, a mob of local citizens attacked the LaLaurie mansion and destroyed the property. LaLaurie's life after the 1834 fire is not very well documented. It is believed that she escaped from New Orleans during the mob violence after the fire and later traveled to Paris, where she spent the rest of her life. According to the French archive, Lalaurie died on the 7th of December 1849, aged 62, from an apparent boar hunting accident. Since 1834, records have shown that no one has lived at 1140 Royal Street for more than 5 years. And many who do have suffered in strange ways after moving out. Mediums and spiritualists have also reported strange paranormal activity at the location. But that is a story for another episode. Let me know your thoughts about Delphine Lalaurie's story in the comment section down below. And as always, do not forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more interesting stories about anything and everything. Thank you.